What I will say, though, is that there's an assumption around AI platforms that AI is always truthful, that AI is that AI has judgment or discernment, and that AI is able to make to think out non-linearly. So let me address those three, because AI is the worst today that we'll ever see it. And so when it comes to things around like the context, meaning the psychology or the ignorance, I feel like that's an area where AI can always get better. And if we provide AI with the appropriate context, it can do things that, you know, any human can do faster, better, smarter. But the issue is that AI doesn't have an objective sense of truth. It only has truth regarding the context that we provide it. AI doesn't lie in the sense of, is it manipulative? But when it's provided with an objective. So in the nonprofit space, what we worry about is if its objective is to raise the most funds, then it will do that at the expense of sustainable, you know, donor relationships. If the objective in the for-profit sense is to sell the most goods, it will do so at the expense of customer relationships. That's my worry, and the worry of many people that agree with me. And so where we would draw the line is to say AI should be used up until the point of engaging directly with the donor or the customer, because that would put the AI in a place where it would make a decision that we would not want to entrust with the AI itself. That's my bias. Other people won't agree with that, and that's fine. But because it's not necessarily capable of quote unquote trust, that's where I would essentially draw that line. And we can't imbue it with necessarily those trust guidelines in that same way. And what I would say is truth around that component. There is still a nature of hallucination that would occur. We can get better at that, but again, that has a lot to do with the context. When it comes to decision making, we can get better at that, but the decision making component relies upon what we have told it to decide between. And if it's not come up with if it's a new issue, then it doesn't necessarily know how to decide between those issues. And that's an area where I worry about. I talk about this a lot in workshops that I do with organizations. If we don't provide it with information that someone if we have to read between the lines from a conversation that someone would have, the AI is not going to know how to deal with that. And with a lot of human interaction, it is about reading between the lines on what someone is saying. And the last thing that I would say is AI always functions in linear thinking, meaning whatever has happened before, it's the next plausible action. So what humans are good at is thinking outside of the box. What is this connection that doesn't make sense in this circumstance? And so what the future looks like is outside of the box thinking. It's something that we have not predicted before. So if we are hoping for what is the next logical step, AI is great at doing that. So, you know, I use AI every day to produce something. But when I'm thinking about what does the world look like in 2030, I'm not asking AI for that answer. I might hope for a brainstorm or something like that, but that's where I'm going to rely on my own thinking and my own, innovation or my own expertise.